That is correct. Update 36, Jade Shadows has gone live with obviously a new frame, the 57th Warframe, Ureli's Deluxe, a landing craft skin that is Stalker based because apparently we didn't already have one, and 3 new weapons: Harmony, Kantora, and Evensong. Kind of a Jade throwback to the Stalker weapons. And the weapons do actually look pretty good. Harmony, her scythe version. This would be her version of Stalker's scythe. I kind of like the look of this, but experience the true power of Jade's embrace. It says ensemble. When you have all 3 equipped together, apparently when you do that, there is a great touch to these that I'm really kind of looking forward to see. But the Cantera is possibly the best out of all 3 of them when it comes to weirdness about them, because... where is it? Cantera's blades lodge into the battlefield, rounds that you have missed your enemy with, and return upon reloading. So you throw these, miss, and then reload, pulls them back through, and they deal damage when returning. That is great. I kind of like that. That's obviously Despair. Dread, sorry, Evensong, would be her version of Dread. And yes, I know what the name of them are for those who are going to complain I didn't call that hate. I'm torn on this. Theoretically, it doesn't look too bad. Having a nice charge shot, radial attack, yes, it has one of those. That is semi-important. But to get any of these weapons, you have to either see Ordus, who is now on the Larunda relay, which is in Mercury, because he'll have kind of a mini store there. You have to have completed the Jade Shadows quest to gain access to any of these weapons, unless you click that button there and purchase it with Platinum. The one I can't get over is from Brutus on Uranus. I guess that is something to do with the actual quest. But the biggie of all, Jade, the 57th Warframe, with a passive that, come on, there it is, grants her, I can't hover over it properly, 2 aura mod slots, meaning that her standard capacity of 60, that can become 67 with an aura in there, is more like 74. 76 if you include the fact if you have a catalyst in there, run a normal aura and steel charge as well, you can have an extra 9 and 7. This is something I'm hoping they do a lot more going forward, because that sounds great, but that's not just it. Some of her abilities apply Judgment, increasing enemy damage vulnerability by 50%. It's basically any enemy marked by Light's Judgment, even though it says it. Applies Judgments. That's her first ability. Really kind of marks them. Second ability, I want to go through these in more detail, but it's a swappable ability that can give, what is it, shield recharge rate, increased damage, and increased power strength, depending which one you do, to allies. Yeah. Oh, it actually says it there. Power of 7 increases ability strength for allies as well. Oh, that was going to be some massively overused. Third ability, because basically any enemy that you stare at will have armor stripped from them. That's how they said it was going to be, and it kind of says it. Their shields and armor will be dissolved, and it also slows them down while you are looking at them. And her fourth ability, you take flight and summon a, well, glory. The things around her, I'm assuming they are what the glory is, from Glory on High. You take flight, Arc-Wing style. Not really. More like Hydroid. And you can shoot down at enemies. I'm actually really looking forward to this, if it wasn't for the fact that Her blueprint is awarded from completing the Jade Shadows quest. Yes, before we even get there, Jade Shadows reward is Jade. This is a quest to do to get a frame. Not going to say a spoiler warning or anything like that when it comes to the quest, because all you've got is an image of a hallway with a green light coming from the side. To be able to play the quest itself, and don't worry, you won't have to wait a month for me to do it this time, because hopefully things won't go horrifically wrong like they did back in December. You have to have first completed the new war quest to be able to play the Jade Shadow quest. Kind of a weird one to do, but you're going to have to do that before you can kind of farm for any of the weapons or Jade herself, which is kind of a slap in the face. Yes, there is also Ureli's deluxe skin. Actually doesn't look too bad with the compressor having its own deluxe skin. The new domestic drone that is her... I can never remember the name of it correctly. What? Oh, yeah. There's an event ongoing as well. But this is a domestic drone that you can place down, and they are purchasable separate. If you not interested in her deluxe skin, you can just buy the domestic drone separately. Actually, go to the star chart. There's a few things that have changed that are slightly more important than an event you can't play until you actually complete the Jade Shadows quest. Yeah, there's a bit of a UI change. I don't really think they needed to stick this icon above each kind of planet. But if you go to any node, you can see infested, suggested damage, slash and fire. Or we go over to Pluto and pick one at random, suggested damage, magnetic. Remember all those times I've turned around and for builds and said, you need to match the element to the faction you are going up against. Now you can actually see this in the mission briefing before you go in. Though, kind of wondering why that doesn't say, oh, I don't know, gas. That does say magnetic and puncture. And let's not kind of forget about this being here. You now have your quick loadouts kind of just off to the side. You can, no kidding, change your Warframe without leaving the star chart. It doesn't compare stats, it just swaps them straight to a different one. You can change your loadout from here depending on what the suggested damage is, because you can also go in and upgrade them or swap the configuration. Oh, I love this ability. And for those that are wondering, that would be Thanos Strike on a Frost. Yes, he is built for armor stripping, so it made sense to put that on there. I love this feature. It is great. It means you don't have to leave here. The Ascension game mode that this entire event is going to be based around, it's weird, but you're basically going to be on an elevator that goes up you have to collect power for. The moat collection, if you want to call it that. I'm not too sure about it, mainly because I can't get to it, because it's locked behind a quest at the moment. All joking aside, the new landing craft skin is just that. It's a skin. You can see how it's kind of Lisette, but also not, because it has one tail fin instead of two. But then it has 4 other ones. I love the look of this ship. The big disappointment is that one word at the end of it. It's a skin, but that just means it can go onto any landing craft that you are using. There is generally a ton of things that they've kind of added. I mean, this one, as I understand the neck animations, it does look weird when they turn. Why'd they have to change the Bratton in the image to be the Bratton Prime from the normal Bratton? Please do not reskin the Bratton. Again, you've done it 3 times. Leave the Prime alone. But there is an absolute ton of fixes. I'm still scrolling down. Yeah. This is just fixes here. That is huge. But I'm going to end this with Link to this in the description if you want to go and have a read through this massive long list of fixes. But more importantly than the fixes, there are 5 new Prex cards. Ember, Vauban, Titania, I was going to say something else, Garuda and Protea Prex cards. From what they were saying, these are going to be hidden on relays. They are strewn around the Chronai relay on Saturn. All of these are on one relay for you to go and find, and you place them as a decoration in your landing craft. They're finally adding Prex cards back into the game. So happy about that. And, of course, I would love to have seen images for this. New simulacrum rooms. 1 per Syndicate. They've also reworked the UI on this. Not really sure what I think about it, to be fair, but I'm glad that it shows the standing cap reached, because every now and then I just wonder what is my actual standing and I have to come over here and access it. So I do like that, but at the same time I'm going to miss the way it looked before. Go to offerings, and inside of here, that's probably easier. Simulacrums, 100,000 standing each. New Loka has the Moon one. Red Veil obviously has the Red Veil Temple. Steel Meridian have the Grenier Asteroid. Yeah, that's where you fight Vor. The second time, technically. Oh, no. Would it be the first time or the second time? It would be the second time, because you take them on in the original quest. Oh, yes. They changed the ways back. No, it is. It's the second time, because you take him on in the starting quest, then he is still the boss of a planet. So it would be the second time. Perrin Sequence has the, and I've wanted this one for a while, Ambulous Arena. This would be the one from Pluto, with its bits off to the side, and the centre fighting area. That actually has some great scenery on it. Orbiters of Hexus have the Zanuka Arena Simulacrum. And in typical fashion, Cephalon Suda, like probably the best chamber for Capturer, have one of the better simulacrums. Not the best, but one of the better ones. It has the Orokin Derelict Simulacrum. This reminds me so much of the old raid missions. I really wish there was an easier way to get these outside of Syndicates, but oh well. And the Uroworm one available from Deviri, the person who sells things in Deviri, because I ain't trying to pronounce that and get wrong for it again. 7 new simulacrums, and all these fixes, and all this stuff to do in Warframe. We'll just continue to, you know what, I'm just going to do this and just let it scroll up. There is a lot in this update. There is a lot to do. A lot of stuff that has been reworked that is just generally better than it was before. 10-gen stuff that, unless you play the game through Steam, you will never really get to play. A quest, an event, and lots of questions to be answered. Mostly about the relationship between Jade and Stalker. But with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.